like a boss. My catfish should've twice a year been on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around from darkness and gloom? You told me after that it's profit and loss, and pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My catfish should've twice a year been on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around from darkness and gloom? You told me after that it's profit and loss, and pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My catfish should've twice a year been on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around from darkness and gloom? You told me after that it's profit and loss, and pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My catfish should've twice a year been on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around? You told me after that it's profit and loss, and pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My catfish should've twice a year been on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around from darkness and gloom? You told me after that it's profit and loss, and pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My catfish should've twice a year been on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around from darkness and gloom? You told me after that it's profit and loss, and pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My catfish should've twice a year been on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around?
Wow. Okay. Zoomtopia and book lunch. Give you 2 words, Zoomtopia and book lunch. So if you care anything about this, you want to make sure you stay right here. Right here. Okay, wonderful. All right, guys. So this is Zoom Queen coming to you from NYC. How you doing? I see you. No, really, I see you. Anyway, what a crazy day. Oh my goodness. The only thing I'm going to say about today is I'm so excited because I get to see one of my favorite actresses later this evening, Gabrielle Union. She's in town. You may have seen her on live yesterday. She was at the Met last night. So I'm excited to see her because her book dropped today. So this is going to be so, so cool. So I'm headed to Brooklyn in a few hours. But in the meantime, you and me and you, we get to spend some time together talking about, well, let's keep it 100. My favorite topic, which is Zoom like a boss. Now, to be clear, this may be your first time joining me, and you're wondering, well, who is this? Who is this chickadee? The light is kind of going crazy. That way, let's turn her up a little bit. Okay, who is this chick calling herself Zoom Queen? Really, who is she? So let me explain. I've been using Zoom really within the 2nd year of launch, okay? And I fell in love with this platform. It was love at first sight. We went on a date. The next thing I know is I said, can I marry you, Zoom? And Zoom said, okay, fine. All right. So because Zoom committed to me first, that makes me queen. Does that make sense? In addition, I realized that Zoom is a no-brainer when it comes to running your business. That's right. If you care about saving time, making money, in other words, having impact, influence, and income all rolled into one, then you and me, we need to know each other. Because that's how I focus on Zoom. Of course, I give you all the little bells and whistles and the features, but I always bring in strategy because, at least in my opinion, doing anything in your business without thinking about, well, what's the outcome? How will this help in multiple ways? Why am I putting my time in this? Is this income generating? If you don't ask yourself a series of questions, then why are you doing it? You get me? So that's why you want to listen in. So I just want to say hello to you out there, LinkedIn. How are you out there, Facebook business page? How are you out there, Facebook leveraging Zoom to grow? And how are you out there, YouTube? And one more community, y'all, which you may want to be a part of. It is called the Zoom Queen text community. Yes, here we go. So if you are not in my text community, and guys, I really don't text a lot. So I don't want you thinking, am I in it? Am I not? Maybe once or twice a week at the most, because I really treasure people's information. That would be you. So if you want to join my text list, you will again find out about all these different things that's happening, not only in Zoom Queen's world, but just in Zoom itself. Make sure you join my list. The number is right there. You may say, well, Marquessa, what should I text? You can text me anything. I love for you to text me. What exactly are you looking forward to the most? What exactly are you looking forward to the most? That would be an awesome text. All right. All right. So now let me get back to it. So I open this up with two things. Zoomtopia. Woo! And book launch. Okay. Both of these are really, really, really important. Okay. And I like to kind of talk about what's happening right now. So let me just start with book launch for a second. You may say, well, Marquessa, what are you launching a book? What's going on? Talk to me. Where's the book launch coming from? Okay. The book launch part is coming from, number one, as you guys may know or not know, I have a Zoom support studio where I bring in Zoom stars that I've had the privilege of training. Some of them came to me with their own expertise, and I just put the Zoom Queen stamp on it once they spent some time with me. Anyway, we do these huge productions. I can literally only do 4 a year because, you know, I have a lot of titles underneath me and I will only commit to 4. Well, one of the 4 that I've committed to happens next week. We actually kick it off next week. It's going to happen for 6 weeks, which is very interesting. And we kick off the huge launch party next week. So I'm really excited about that. So I said, you know what? Since I'm in this process of, you know, I have a client that's launching a book, what are some tips that I can share with, you know, my audience that would help them launch a book? Well, first of all, you can do anything via Zoom. It just takes thought and strategy, you know, so you just got to think it, believe it, and do it. That's where the thought piece comes in. Own it. I can do this, right? And then what's my strategy? So again, my favorite work when it comes to leveraging Zoom, why are you doing this? So let's roll it back. And I'm only going to share like a few things. If you want to go deep down and dirty with me, where I answer your specific questions about your book launch or however you're using Zoom, join me this Thursday when I will deep dive with my Club ZQ members. So go to zoomqueen.com. All of the links are there. And for a short time, I got a little special for you. So if I don't give you enough information, you have a resource. Also want to remind you to join my Leveraging Zoom Facebook group. All right. So let me get over here to book launch. It was certain specific things I wanted to discuss. Know your pal. If you've heard me speak before, you know I always say know your pal. Your purpose, your audience, and your logistics. What's your purpose, your audience, your logistics? All right. So you may say, well, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean here. What is the purpose of your book launch? Okay, so it's going to probably tie in with the purpose of your book. So if the purpose of your book is, my book is a marketing tool. I know in my industry of professional speaking, a good majority, I'd probably say 85, if not 90% of professional speakers will launch a book in order to really take up their speaking platform, because the book gets out there and then they turn around and get invitations from it. So that's a wonderful strategy in order to get some bookings on the book, if you will. It also, because it builds credibility, it's literally a credibility builder. Well, if that's the case, then when you do your Zoom book launch, you also want to wrap it around that same mentality, right? So one of the things you may want to incorporate in your book launch is you speaking a little bit, but something that's attracting people who actually bought the book. Does that make sense? So I'll give you a perfect example. I'm in this course right now called, it's all about decluttering in your online world, right? I mean, I've been in my business for 16 years, y'all. And I'm telling you sometimes, and I'll admit it, I like to keep it real. I'm like, did I put that in Dropbox or Evernote, or is it in Google Drive? I can't find it. Anybody else like that? Do you ever feel overwhelmed because you're thinking, I can't find it, and you waste so much time looking for things? And I've always wanted to meet and learn from an expert that could help me with that. So I found this wonderful woman. So let's assume she wrote a book. Maybe she has, maybe she hasn't. I just want to use her title as an example because it's fresh on my brain, right? So if she wrote a book about how to make sure that that you do not lose money, but make money when it comes to digital organizations. I just made that up in my brain. Make sure you make money instead of lose money from digital organization. Let's say that that's pretty much the title of her book, right? It can be a little bit more spicy, but that's just off the top of my head. All right. So then let's say when she has that book launch, she decides, guys, I'm going to give you a special list that nobody else is going to get, 10 things you can do in 10 days or less and completely shift the way you show up in your business. You will never have to search for a digital file again. I promise you. Right? So 10 really quick tips. Now, I do go into some of them in my book, but some of them, I give you so much in the book that these didn't even make it to the press. All right. So if you want to hear these and learn about these and take them home with you, you got to come to my book launch live. Did you hear that? So that's a strategy. Again, they're coming live. And then when they get there, of course, you're going to give them what you promised. But in addition, you want to also kind of speak through the strategy. Show them not only are you an expert in this area, but you can speak about it really well. Okay. And don't forget, don't assume people know that you're a speaker. Say it, towards the end of your event, towards the end of your book launch. Have you guys enjoyed it? Did you get something out of it? Well, listen, if you have a group that could use this information, they will get a wonderful discount on my book. Just please, let's make an introduction. And I have a thank you gift if you do that. Make sure you stay focused on what is the outcome I'm looking for. So maybe it's speaking engagements. It could be, Marquesa, I want to be on a New York Times bestseller list. So I've got to sell so many books. I want to be on the Amazon bestseller list. So I want to sell so many books at a certain time. Then timing is everything. Does that make sense? So again, so I'm going to tell you these quick things. Know your POW. Purpose. What is the purpose of this book launch in particular? My audience. Know who your audience is. Know what they like and what they don't like. If you've got a really fun, willing to go with the flow, think outside the box kind of audience, then you need to make sure that your book launch has those elements in it. Do not just show up on Zoom and say, hey guys, this is my book launch. How you doing? That is so boring and predictable, right? So I would think, maybe we can start off in Zoom meeting with an awesome, kind of like a red carpet or fun little I can give them some prizes away and I can highlight people and, find out their biggest struggles. And again, I'm just coming up with this from the top of my head. Think outside the box. Heck, throw the box away. What can I do? What can I do? Then think to yourself, okay, but Zoom has another platform and it's called Zoom Webinar. And I have asked a lot of my colleagues to put me in front of their audience, right? So I don't want to do this same presentation over and over again. So one element will be live, like I said, on Zoom meeting, but Zoom webinar, since no faces will be seen except for my co-speakers, then I'm going to use that in many other places. And this is where I'm going to get down deep and dirty about solving this problem of terrible online organization. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, really know what your goal is. If you don't know what your goal is, you're just going to waste your time and no one's going to show up. And that reminds me, logistics means not only which platform I'm going to use. Don't assume everybody just says Zoom meeting as if it's the only Zoom platform. Zoom has another platform called Zoom Webinar, and it is amazing with 1.5 million benefits, literally. And at times it's a smarter choice. And I hear this all the time. Well, Marquesa, I really can't interact on Zoom Webinar because you really can't see anybody's faces. You actually can interact with people in the chat. You can promote certain people Absolutely. You do not have to see your audience to interact. But again, it needs to make sense. One of the cool, best things about Zoom webinar that they recently rolled out, if you don't know this, there is now a green room slash speaker room slash VIP room that's offered on the Zoom webinar platform. And also, what I love about the Zoom webinar platform the most is it can handle the book launch from beginning to end. It can register people at the deepest level. Zoom meeting can too, but not at the deepest level. And it will follow up with people, which Zoom meeting cannot, okay? And when they come in, and let's say you have a lot of folks coming on, they're gonna have questions. It also breaks out the questions in an easy way. So consider the Zoom webinar platform, but this is where logistics comes in. What makes more sense? Do I need something that I'm going to do once and I'm going to share many places? So these are the questions you want to answer. What else did I want to share? Okay, hire an MC. I'm excited because not only is my company producing the whole thing, but I'm the MC for this particular event. And I love it. MCing is one of my favorite things to do. But I would say hire an MC, a person that's been doing it for years, a person that knows how to MC, how to engage, has a personality, and can really connect with your specific audience. Now, if you don't know how to hire an MC, I'm happy to say I'm one of the co-authors of a special white paper that was published earlier this year by National Speakers Association called How to Hire an MC. Now, I meant to put a link at zoomqueen.com. I'm just thinking I forgot to do that. So you can actually Google it. Just go Google hire an MC NSA or National Speakers Association hire an MC and it'll come up. Or just give me about, I don't know, a few minutes after we end here and I'll put it up on my links list, which is at zoomqueen.com. Download that sucker and look through it. And if you're an MC yourself and you want to add this to the services you offer, then you also want to check out this particular book, okay? But it really, really helps because if it's your book, you just want to focus on accomplishing your goal, not all of these other pieces. And marketing the experience is everything. And of course, you can use beloved Zoom to make that happen, okay? Marketing everything is cool. Now, I'm going to share with you something really big. Zoom actually is dropping off something now to me. And I think they're they're at my buzzer. So if they are, I'm literally going to pause it. I'm trying to see if they buzz again. I'm not lying. This is a package from Zoom. And it was supposed to come today. And I was hoping that it would not come right when I was in the middle of a broadcast. So let me see. Sometimes people ring your bell and they're just trying to find somebody to let them in. So I'm going to keep going unless they ring it a few times because I have to sign for it. Thank you, Zoom. Oh, please. They send me stuff all the time. But anyway, back to what we were saying. So anyway, when it comes to book launch, know your pal. Really be clear about your desired outcome because it shapes the entire experience and purpose of your event. Hiring a professional MC and marketing the experience is everything. In other words, I remember for some of my other previous Zoom productions, we would literally get right here on Zoom, do a nice recording, and then send it out to the masses because people need to know what to expect. They need to see that it's going to be different and not just yet another Zoom that they're going to join, okay? And have some fun with it. There's other things, but those are just a few. Then I want to close out with Zoomtopia! I'm actually missing it right now because I wanted to keep my word to you and live stream, but Zoomtopia is Zoom's annual conference. And it is big, it's awesome, it's amazing. And oh my goodness, my brain already hurts. So again, if Zoom comes to my door, I'm gonna pause it and I'll be right back. But so far, so good. Anyway, Zoomtopia, guys, one of the things that they shared was up-leveling the Zoom chat experience. What does that mean? Are you sitting down? You got to sit down. This is too big. Sit down. Let me give you a second to sit down. This is too big. Let me just take a sip of water. This is so big. So big. Are you ready? Here we go. What's the biggest complaint when it comes to chat? What's the biggest, whether you're a participant or a speaker, what's the biggest challenge? You can't keep up with the different conversations. You can't always identify the chat that comes from the speaker or the Zoom producer. And there's just, you miss questions. Should I go on and on and on? Well, Zoom heard us. Thank you, Zoom. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate you. Anyway, Zoom heard us. So because Zoom heard us, they're now, and just to be clear, I don't want you looking for this right now. They said that it would come out in December. Okay. As a side note, they have been known to not make their deadline. So don't be getting mad at me if by December 31st it's not out. Okay. But when it comes out, I'll certainly let you know. Anyway, this is what you can expect. There will be announcement channels within chat. Announcement channels. You sometimes want to make an announcement and put it in chat and it gets lost in everything. No more Hunty. It will look completely different from all of the other chats. Here's something else that you can look forward to. They're going to bold certain people. You get to bold, I should say, whomever you want to bold in the chat. So if it's your Zoom producer, if it's one of your speakers, your participant, whatever the case may be, you can decide whose comments are bolder. And they've created a new type of box where you can have multiple conversations and still keep up with each one. I know. It's a whole nother world. And here's something, if it makes you feel better, you're like, Marquessa, that's fine, but it's not happening now, so I'm not excited. Here's something that I've realized that a lot of Zoom stars have no idea of. You know how sometimes you have a video and maybe it's a 30-second video, kind of like my commercial, or maybe it's a really short video and you don't necessarily want to show it on the big screen. You want to put it in chat for whatever reason. Maybe it's a quick little lesson, an instructions video, whatever it is. Do you know you can put an MP4 file in the chat and it will literally show up as a video? So that's something you can do right now. Yay. So I want to make sure you know that. How am I doing? So good, so good. And then let me share something else. Zoom slides is going to the next level. Now, I believe this is going to be early next year. This is really exciting. If I get the timings wrong, forget me. I'm just so excited with the news. When they give the news, I don't always hear the rest of the sentence. Okay, but anyway, Zoom slides means that there's a big problem when you're part of a major, like, heavy hitter type production. Let's say you've been invited to speak for Toyota or Google or any of these major things. Oftentimes they will run your slides for you because they want your slides to sort of match all their brand and all the other speakers. It's not uncommon for that to happen. So you may say, oh, I don't like that, because I don't know when I'm going to need the slide to change. I don't know. It depends on where I'm at in the story. Well, Zoom thought of that and they heard us and they said they got tired of people saying, next slide, please, next slide, please, next slide, please, right? So now, whether it's you and you can touch a little button that looks like a slider that's coming out, or you can assign it to somebody else in your Zoom and you can easily, again, push the button and it will notify them the next slide. Oh my God. It's like a human clicker, literally. It's a human clicker that's built into Zoom. That's coming out. Hallelujah. This is fabulous for us professional speakers and anybody, frankly, that presents on Zoom. So that's coming out. Something else you may not know that you can do right now when it comes to Zoom slides. Zoom has created a way to make your slides, turn your slides into a virtual background. What do I mean by that? Let's say that you have a slide, I don't know, it could be anything, an instruction slide, it'll show up behind you. And instead of you sitting, showing your whole body, it's going to show this, it's going to show you in the middle of the slide, but in a good, clear way. So you want to make sure that virtual background is tight. You don't know how to do that? Zoomqueen.com. I have a wonderful ebook. Okay. But let's say you want to do virtual background slides. All you got to do is hit that green button that you can't miss that says share button. And then look for the different, what do they call those things? Tabs, right? And I can't remember if it's under advanced tabs or regular tabs. Anyway, look for the tab, right? Oh, do I want to tell you that right now? Let me just tell you right now which tab is under, because I have it right in front of me. It is under, and by the way, guys, go in there because they have done it where they can show just about anything. It just makes you cry. It's so amazing. Am I sharing? Okay, it's under advanced slides. Okay, so I want to stop share here. Okay, lovely. It's under advanced slides. Okay, advanced, and then you're going to see the very first icon will be beta. It says beta and it's virtual slides. And all you're going to do is click that. It's going to say, okay, take me to your slides. And you're going to go right into your computer or wherever it is and pull up your slide, and it's going to be virtual. And you will be in the middle of a slide. It'll look very unique, very unique. You'll love it. You kind of, if you want to think about how this looks, it's like weatherman slides. You remember the weatherman? You put up something and then he goes into the middle of the slide. So it's kind of like that. So you can do that today, like today. Okay, anything else that I want to talk about? It's so many things. Oh yeah. So it's a lot more that they discuss, but I want to save the rest later. It's already 2:26. And I got to make sure that Zoom does this, or whoever is leaving me a package does this all the time. They leave it downstairs. And, you know, houses aren't the only people whose packages disappear. I'm just saying. So I'm going to get out of here. I will see you next Tuesday, although my production is next Tuesday. So if something happens and I absolutely cannot be here next Tuesday, I will give you a heads up. I may come in next Wednesday or something like that, because next Tuesday is actually one of the big book launches that I'm doing for a client. So I may not be able to come and do this at 2. But we will see. I'm just giving you a heads up. In either case, you know, my goal is to always come here every Tuesday and talk to you about how to leverage Zoom. All right, so go and launch that book. Don't forget to go to zoomqueen.com for some of the attachments or files or documents that I mentioned. And one more thing, cockle doodle do. I almost forgot one more thing. Monday, this coming Monday, which is the 20th. I think it's the 20th. Anyway, you know, the next Monday that's coming up, I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern. I am going to do a Zoomtopia debrief. I'm going to do it live once. Okay. So go to zoomqueen.com and you'll see a place for you to sign up for it and get a reminder. Okay. So make sure you go, make sure you show up. I'm going to give something special away to the people that show up live. It's going to be Monday, I think 2:00 p.m. Eastern. It'll show all the times and the where and the when, all that in the link. So go to zoomqueen.com and just page down and just look for the link for the Zoomtopia debrief. So you want to hear a little bit more, a lot more on Monday. I think that's it. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It's been fun.
How can you turn this thing around from darkness and gloom? Use the tools we have to manage profit and loss. And pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My captain stood us twice a year to clean on the Zoom. How can you turn this thing around from darkness and gloom? Use the tools we have to manage profit and loss. And pretty soon you two can zoom like a boss. My captain stood us